New Landing's Job Chat is brought to you in part by the Prosperity Advisory Group, the next step in your financial future, and by the EBS Group with an unparalleled background in Oracle solutions and services.
What is a wellness mindset? What is a wellness philosophy? How do you create a champion wellness mindset? That and other wellness questions will be answered in today's Job Chat. I'm Hector Silva. My co-host is Don Apple.
Hector, I feel well, and I want to keep feeling well. And the person that's joining us today can help make that possible.
Our guest today is Lucy DelSarto.
Lucy is the creator of Take Care of You, or TCOY Wellness program. This unique and highly successful wellness program combines her coaching, mentoring, and speaking abilities to empower individuals to take personal responsibility for their health by developing a wellness mindset and lifestyle. Lucy, welcome to Job Chat.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's great to be here.
Welcome, Lucy. Why don't we start off with telling us what a wellness mindset is?
Well, let's see. Let's go with just the energy factor. Is who would you want to be around? Somebody who's moping around or somebody who's got a lot of energy?
A lot of energy.
All right. So if you just think about who you'd want to be around, think of that attitude is contagious. Whatever you're putting off, that energy should be what you want to portray as well. So an energy mindset is a way of thinking. It's a philosophy. It's like, I want to be well because future down the road, I'm going to impact somebody else, and in the process, I'm making myself healthy because those self-thoughts truly do make a difference.
So a wellness mindset can be infectious.
It's very contagious, yes.
Okay. So when you're going through this, you're looking at it from a strictly positive standpoint then.
Right. Well, the simple thing is a smile, you use less muscles than a frown. So the energy that you're putting out there does make a difference. It's so empowering for me to see people when I'm around them because my energy is fairly high, as you can tell.
Yes.
As we talked about, I don't drink coffee, don't need the coffee, but they're just like, wow, that was really something, because we have so much stress in our life right now, and we're not taking the time to just be a human being. We're always doing. We're always doing. And it's like being a single mom and being an entrepreneur, and then might be in a sandwich society where you've got older parents and the children, and we're doing. And, God made us to be human beings, just to chill out and be. And one of the things I missed when I lived in California was growing up in the Midwest is the front porch, just sitting on the front porch, the simple things.
So wellness mindset doesn't mean that you have to be continuously active.
No, that's the biggest thing when people start thinking, oh, well, she's going to watch what I'm eating and she's going to tell me I need to be working out. And it's like, it's head, heart, and body. So you may be great at working out, but if you don't have the gratitude mind, giving back society, and then you're having your mindset of self-talk and what affirmations are you telling yourself? That's huge. I like to put in a class the first time, maybe give everybody a rubber band and have them put it on their wrist. And I said, every time you do a negative talk to yourself, self-talk, is snap it. And, that's a good reminder. It's like, you go home with a lot of welts on your wrist,
Maybe the first day, not the second.
Yeah, the second day you're like, or you can have the person next to you, hey, you just said something bad, But, it's a self-talk. You don't realize it takes about 7 good things for you to say to forget that one bad thing you said, or a good thing. Let me reverse that. So if you're constantly hearing negative, then it takes 7 times more to hear a positive to get over that. So I need to hear a lot more self-talk. Just like the hugs when we greeted each other today, I'm a hugger. I think we all need to embrace, or if somebody doesn't like the hugs, I do the knuckles. I'm like, hey, that's cool. We can do the knuckles. Or give a smile. Nothing's better than driving down the road and, you're at a stoplight and you look over at somebody and you smile at them and they smile back. It's contagious, Or if, you look at the kid in the back seat, and I love doing that because kids are much more open.
Yes.
There's no ulterior motive and you just look at them and you wave or make a funny face. You can imagine me doing that. But you can do it
Yes.
too. You can do it too. But the kids will smile and then the parent looks back and then they look at you and then they're like, oh, this is good, It's just, it's contagious. It's something you really want in your life. Is just every moment there's something really fun that you can be embracing. So wellness is not saying you have to go to the gym and work out 7 days a week. Do I believe in working out? Absolutely. Because I think the body was meant to move. You know, you don't move, you start, rigor mortis sets in. You get very tight.
Well, then why do so many of us that make resolutions, make a commitment, fail when it comes to wellness?
That's a good question. Are you over exceeding your, putting a goal out there that just can't be met? And for me, having been at health clubs forever, I see that all the time is, okay, I'm going to eat everything I can on December 31st, and then I'll start on January 1st. It's not what you do between Thanksgiving and New Year's. It's what you do between New Year's and Thanksgiving that matters.
Oh, okay.
So once you start on this, and I know you refer to it as a journey, once you start on this journey, then this becomes, or has to become, a way of life.
Exactly.
It's not something that you do periodically. It's not when I think about it, but you have to make this a part of your day-to-day philosophy.
It is. It's very much like, I call myself sometimes the GPS for health and wellness, because you're going to have to recalculate. You're going to go to a party. You're going to go days on a vacation. You're not going to do anything, but you just gear back into it. It's kind of like when they used to have the space shuttle going up, into orbit. It was off course over 97% of the time. But it would tweak itself constantly and get back online. And everyone thinks it's a straight line. And anything in your life, your career, it wasn't a straight line. You had detours, but you learned and you went back. So, yeah, it's definitely a way of life. You have to live it, breathe it, and don't beat yourself up if you go off course.
And once you start doing this, it starts to impact other areas of your life, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
It's not your family life, but also your career or anything else that you're doing.
Absolutely. And you are a role model, whether you know it or not, to people around you, your children, your nieces, nephews, coworkers, friends, whatever, because they are watching what you're doing. And you have no idea that what you said, one compliment to somebody, you don't know what their day was like.
Yeah.
Seriously, you go out to dinner, and I just would always look at somebody's name tag, whether it's if it's a fast food restaurant, so be it, or if it's a fancy restaurant, but they might have their name on there. And wow, and just instead of, like treating them like they're there to serve you, how about you're there to serve them possibly in this world? And so you go, hey, John, how are you doing today? And I love engaging in conversations with people when I go out, because you have no idea where their day is. They're making their money off their tips also.
Yes.
And it's really easy to think, wow, okay, I need this much money so I can buy this much food, and then you walk out. And I remember hearing a story about a little boy who had, $1. We'll go back in time because we're all over 40, but he had, maybe $1, and he wanted to get an ice cream cone or something or sundae, and he wouldn't go in there, and he went and get the sundae. He went and got an ice cream cone because he wanted to be able to tip the person who served him.
Oh.
I mean, we don't think like that. We think, how much can I get for me? But it's not about that. And that's the mindset with the gratitude, which is the heart that I talk about, the head, heart, and body. Once you give back, you will be blessed in many ways.
So the difference between just a regular wellness philosophy and a champion wellness mindset is the fact that it is always top of the mind. It is something that becomes part of you.
That's right.
Okay. Now, how do we get there? I know you say you have to think about these things, but is there any sort of habits that we have to instill, or is there a program that we can follow to do this?
The biggest thing I would say is it's a journey. It's one step at a time. And like the New Year's resolutions you referred to, is we just do it too far. We make it, well, that's Lucy. She's done this her whole life. I said, well, guess what? I wasn't always on track 100% thinking like this. I mean, I always did the workouts and stuff like that. But once I had my daughter, I really changed what was going in my body to eat. I mean, because I'm thinking, wow, I really got to take care of me for her, because I'm going to be raising her. So it just changed. So it grew and grew and grew. So very much like a snowstorm. It's one flake at a time. You don't think anything of it until you're shoveling out 6 inches, 7 inches of snow, right? So I kind of continue to tell people it's just one gradual thing. If it's a New Year's resolution, it could be starting on March 3rd. It doesn't matter. But don't clean out your entire cupboards and say, I'm not going to have any more of this. Let's just start with something simple of saying, I'm going to cut back on sodas.
So it's never too late to start.
No. One sign I saw in a nursery one time, a plant nursery, was great. It said, when's the best time to plant a tree? 10 years ago, but plan it today. You know?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, along those lines, from a personal standpoint, when did you start taking on this philosophy? Or is this something you've always had, or is this something that you came to? I know that you were on the professional racquetball tour for a while, and I'm sure that your mindset had to be win-win-win in those situations, but that could also be detrimental. So how did you come to this mindset?
Well, interesting. As I referred to, I'm the baby of 10, so it was a survival.
I'm sure it was.
And you know what? People laugh because I'm not a big meat eater, but you know, I didn't even realize there was meat by the time it got to me because my brothers always got to me. It's like, oh, those vegetables are so good. But honestly, the first time that I can remember it really sticking out in my mind was when I was like 7 or 8 years old. I went into the doctor's to get a tetanus shot or something. I'd stepped on some type of nail or something, and so I had to go in. And I'm in there, and do you remember the old days? They weren't fancy doctor's offices. I mean, they were very sterile, white, and you know, they weren't a place you wanted to be.
Scary places.
They were.
Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh, at 7 or 8, I looked around and I saw these people, and they were like not where I went to be. And I just remember very strongly in my heart thinking, I'm doing everything I can to stay out of here. You know, so it started then. When I got onto my athletic arena of playing on the tour, I just saw how the disciplines just paid off. I mean, I was the baby, like I said, at 10, and I had 6 brothers, and I was always obviously the smallest, the youngest, and everything else. And you know, one thing you'd say is, "Oh, she's just a girl," and that just compete me. That's the thing you say.
Not the thing to say, huh?
No. So I learned the practice would go the distance for me, which would prevail in me being a professional athlete. All right? So it doesn't mean I always have to win, but I prepared myself. Okay, Tim Tebow does a great job of saying that too. You know, people were on his case a little bit, but it was wonderful because he says, win or lose, I've given my best. And this is your personal journey. Wellness is a personal journey. It's not a competition to see who can do the most marathons. I mean, you know, if that person wants to do that, that's great, but it's your personal journey. And that's where I think everything comes full circle. People saying, wow, you know, good for you. You know, you walked a mile today. Great. You know, the other person, it might be around a marathon. Great. Might be another person who's doing Zumba or Taibo or whatever. Whatever you like, find
Whatever
it.
floats your boat.
Yeah. Okay, boating, yeah.
So it could be something you already do well and you want to make it better, or it could be something you don't do well and you want to learn how to do that well.
Absolutely, yeah. And just let go of these expectations in your mind. I mean, I look like a frog in a blender doing Zumba. I don't do well with 1, 2, 3 count motions like this. I have to flow, and that's where racquetball is. It's an ADHD sport. I love it. You know, you can hit a shot, miss it, and you're still in the game. You know, it's great. So for me, it's like you cannot be thinking, and I multitask all the time, so it's perfect for me, and it's so much fun. It's a social getaway as well as a physical. So it works for me. Now, there are people, one of my sisters, and she does not like to sweat. So she's like, oh, I can't do that. But she would like yoga, or she might like swimming. You know, there's so much out there, and you don't have to be good at it, but you have to have fun at it. So it needs to...
So try different things until you find what you have fun with.
Absolutely. I mean, some people love lifting weights, and that just bores me to death. It's just like, I know I do a TheraBand and stretch and stuff like that, but to be at the gym to lift weight, that's not me. Whereas guys love that because it's like, yeah, He-Man, yeah, I can do that. And like, you go, dude, you know. Whatever floats your boat, like you said.
Well, we know that things don't always go well in life or as we planned. So there are going to be times when outside influences are going to erode that mindset a bit. How do you get back on track?
Well, are you talking about something that's keeping you from doing?
Or you've taken on that wellness mindset.
Okay.
But something comes along that is detrimental to what you've been trying to do.
Okay.
How do you get back onto that positive mindset?
Well, I think it's kind of like taking a shower. You need to do it every day. Okay, so positive affirmations every single day. Maybe getting to the point where you have a few newsletters or something sent to your email box. Okay, John Maxwell does like Maxwell Minute, which is great, just a little thing. I have John Rowan. He has some interesting stuff. So I'm constantly gathering and picking quotes and listening to different things. So you got to keep fueling that, because you will fall, okay? But the key is to fall forward, and then you've just gained 5 feet. Get back up and go again. And we fall backwards and think, and the negativity starts setting in, and it's I can't, because that's self-talk. Again, get that wristband out, snap it. It's like, I can do this. And the endorphins that you get from working out, that's why that's one of the top things I do when I'm doing my wellness program, is I emphasize you have got to work. Even if you work out, even if you don't feel like it, if you did things by the fact that you don't feel like doing it today, there's a lot of stuff you won't do. But once you get past it, that sense of accomplishment empowers you, and you just look at it. And some people, it's really good for them to keep an Excel journal, worksheet, whatever, and that can be great. Some people would say that's another piece of paperwork I don't want to do. That would be me. But if it's fun and you have somebody for an accountability thing, that's where the people you're around, you got to have a buddy system and empower yourself, because it's inspiration or desperation that's going to get you to change. So it's either desperation, the doctor says you have diabetes now, you're at risk for heart disease, boom, that motivates somebody, all right? Inspiration, maybe you heard, one of my talks or somebody else talk, and they're like, wow, I really like her energy. But guess what? Everything has to come from the inside, because it's not on the inside. These external factors that you were just mentioning, they'll take you down. It's got to be you driven. It can't be, well, I want to lose weight because my husband will like me better if I lose weight. Hey, how about if you're healthier and you can do more and you're going out and do stuff? Okay, love your husband, but it's about you in that aspect. Let's take care of you. Maybe say, I'll take care of me for me if you take care of you for you. And in the process, we'll both be better off. Plus our children. Oh my goodness, what you're doing for the next generation. I mean, how many times have you looked at a family that's at the mall or at an event, and you could just pick who the parents were for those children, whether they were fit or obese? So take care of you, because there's people that are watching, and you could be a positive role model for them.
One of the reasons I was asking about those stumbles in life is because we have so many listeners that are out of work, and it's nothing that they were looking for. It happened, and things like that make it a little difficult to keep that positive mindset or keep that wellness philosophy going. And from what I'm hearing from you, it just becomes part of doing it every day, so that when those things happen, they're not as bad a stumble as they would have been.
Absolutely. It's a choice every morning. Mandisa has a really good song out right now. She's a singer, and it's a morning song. And believe it or not, I'm not a morning person, even though we're doing this in the morning. I can do that, 1 o'clock in the morning, because I'm doing stuff and working on the computer and everything else. But if you asked me to meet you to go play racquetball at 6 a.m., that might be a little challenging, but I would do it. So, that little pep talk, get going, but it's just getting started. People they let the thoughts of what could hold them back start, getting in their mind, and it does. It will keep you from doing it. So the job searching, the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Remember that book? Okay, great book, because I think it's the economy right now is saying, hey, here's what's going on. Things are changing. Well, are you going to embrace the change? Everybody, I hate change. It's just like, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. And you know what? With our health, as we get older, age is just a number, but how you age is how you've, worked your lifestyle. So, I've gone through plenty of changes. With my career being self-employed, probably 90% of my work time, I'm unemployed every day. I really am. It's up to me to go out and do it. So when somebody says, well, you don't understand, you have your own business, I'm like, okay, let's talk about that. I said, every morning I have to get up and I'm unemployed. So yeah, I'm making myself, especially being a wellness coach. I mean, I'm transparent. If I'm not healthy and living this life, I'm not going to get very many clients, right? So I totally can relate to what you're saying, and I've heard those voices. But again, snap out of it. Go out there and.
So, by your passing this on to your clients, students, when you do training of this type, you're hoping that they then pass it on to others.
Yes.
So even though it's your own wellness, the philosophy can be spread.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just the coach that gets you started. A good coach teaches you how to coach others. I learned that in racquetball, and I just apply it now in wellness so that, a perfect example with racquetball, just go off on a tangent here, is one of the things that I would tell people is always get back to center court. Okay, get back to center court, because if you're in the center, you can get to anything. Well, the same thing is true in life. You've got to put yourself in the right place, right? And so somebody will come up to me after they've played in a tournament, and they'll say, wow, I had that little Lucy on my shoulder, and she was, get back to center, get back to center. And that's what I'm trying to do with the wellness mindset is, just let people realize you're in control. You're the driver of your life, all right? If you see yourself and it's like, okay, I haven't worked out for 6 days, 7 days. Oh, I'm thinking of Lucy. Why'd she come to mind? Well, she's telling you to get back on course. So that is my goal, is to empower that person. It's not that I'm going to be there 24/7, because I won't. Can you imagine having me 24/7 in your brain? Oh my gosh.
Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
Well, I don't know about having you 24/7 in our brains, but we definitely are happy that we had you here today.
Well, thank you.
And we learned quite a bit about wellness mindset today. So if anybody wanted to contact you to get some more information, where could they reach you?
The easiest way is they could find me on LinkedIn. Through my name that way, or they could contact me via email, which is Lucy, Lucy, at TCOYWellness.com. Just send me an email and I will get back to them, or go through my LinkedIn. I also have a Facebook fan page under TCOY Wellness. And that way you can get a lot of my inspirational videos, my quotes. That's a real fun way to follow me. I do... I always say tweeter just to make fun, because I have a daughter who's 17. Just so it's really important for young kids that you don't act like you know it all, especially with your children. So I go, I got a twit, or what is that, Shay? And she's like, okay. So I have a tweeter account. I'm not ignorant, but make it fun. And you can follow me on that as well.
Okay, well, very good. And of course, all of our job chats are available on our website at newlandingsjobchat.org.
And as always, until we meet next time, may your days be full of health, happiness, and success.